Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I'm going to tell you how to gratitude journal. In case you didn't know, Books for MKs is a charity that donates books to missionary kids all over the world. So if you want to donate to the kids, you can do so through GoFundMe.com. There's a link down in the description, and there's a button at the end of this video where you can safely donate to the kids. Every penny of the donations goes straight to books for the kids. Like, there's nothing that comes off the top or anything. Every penny goes toward buying books and shipping books to children who need the books. So I've been talking a lot, done a few videos anyway, the last year about journaling. And so now I wanted to do one about specifically a gratitude journal. This past year, I've had so much to be grateful for. I moved into my new house. I love all my jobs. I started a new job back in January. I am just so stinking happy. I have so many things in my life that are really coming together for me. Finally, after years of misery, now things are really going well. I have much for which to be grateful. I think sometimes people are put off by the idea of journaling because they feel like it's just going to be boring describing the events that happened to them that day. That's more of a diary. A diary, the word diary literally comes from the word daily, so you're describing what happened to you every day. A journal comes from the word journey, and so I think a journal is much more attractive as an activity because you can write in it anything you want to. It doesn't have to be a description of what you did. So a gratitude journal especially is very attractive to me, as an idea of something to do, because it is such a positive way of looking at your life and looking at the world around you. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my very first tip is to get a journal that you love. Like, the physical book that you're actually going to write in needs to be something that is attractive to you and that you think, ooh, I like that color. Oh, that's the perfect journal. Oh, I like those pages. Something that you want to pick it up and you want to write things in it. So mine is this one. I love blue. The color blue is one of my favorites. Blue and green. I love blue and green. And I just thought these stripy things were so nice, and it's kind of leathery, and it has like this stitching on it. So I thought that was lovely. And it just has, just regular lined pages in the middle, nothing fancy. And it does have a little ribbon, and I love stuff with a ribbon. So when I first got this one, at the very front, I actually traced this little design like on the end paper or whatever. This is not something I came up with myself. This I traced out of, it was kind of like a little stencil-y thing that I had, and then I sort of elaborated on it. So that just kind of right away made this special. And you want your journal to feel special to you and feel like, this is my thing. And in the beginning, I just put gratitude journal, and I put a verse, I believe it's from Proverbs, where it says, a cheerful heart doeth good like a medicine. I forget what book I got this idea from, but I got an idea to do these various lists right at the beginning. And the first one I have is to write a list of your dreams and desires, which seems like, oh, I'm writing out my dreams, how cute. But that really worked for me. It helped me to focus in, what am I talking about in my gratitude journal, and what's something that I want to focus on, So I have categories. I have my health and body. So what are my dreams? What are my goals? What are my desires for my health? Career and work, money, so having security, relationships, personal desires, material items. We say like, you need to be more spiritual and you don't need to be, greedy or something. But sometimes material items can really bring you joy and bring and enhance your life. And then the final category is spiritual dreams and spiritual desires. So the second thing is to write a list of things you're grateful for, which is just kind of, your basic list. I'm grateful for friends and family and food and clothing, and I'm grateful for my job, and I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. You want to get kind of your basic list down right away. Now the next ones are much more unique. And I can't for the life of me remember where I got this list from. I got it from a book or something. But the third one is to write down the top 3 most influential people in your life and why you're grateful for them. So I thought that was a great way to start out my gratitude journal. This is like 3 years ago that I started this. And then number 4 is each day write down the one best thing that happened to you that day, or just, a thought for that day or whatever. So then I had my dreams and desires that I wrote out, and the most influential people in my life, which are my mom and dad and my piano teachers. And then I just started writing in things that I'm grateful for. So each one would be like, just a little sentence, just one sentence. So I'd write in the date and I'd put, I am grateful that my dad locks up the house and turns out all the lights every night. It makes me feel safe. This was from back when I was living with my parents. The next one says, I'm grateful that my mom told me not to stress out about the party coming up. So apparently there was a party coming up and I was stressed and my mom said, don't stress. And I actually went through several years of just that template, putting in the date and then putting in a sentence or two about what I was grateful for. Then I started doodling. And then I started putting in little extras. Books are the happy. And I guess I just wanted to do more. So I started writing in quotes that inspired me. Here's one from Spurgeon. The stars of promise shine forth gloriously against the darkness of grief. That spoke to me, and I loved it. Then I wrote a list of positive words that I wanted to focus on, just random positive words that I wanted to remember. I started keeping track of how often I meditated. So I would put my thing that I was grateful for, and then I would write meditation 5 minutes, meditation 10 minutes. It was just a good way of reminding myself to meditate every day. I put in a little flower. I got this thing of tea bags that have little quotes on them, so I actually just pasted in the tea bag quotes. So just any kind of random thing that inspired me or made me feel grateful, or a statement that was a positive statement I wanted to remember, I would put it in. Here's one. Who I am in Christ matters more than what I think or what others tell me about myself. And I put some little doodles together with it. So that's kind of like a little walk through my journal. The next tip is don't feel guilty if you don't write in it every day. The whole point of the gratitude journal is to be grateful, not to feel guilty. So if you're feeling guilty, like, oh no, I forgot to write in my journal, or I'm just not feeling grateful today and I don't want to write in my journal, then it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You're defeating the purpose if you're feeling bad about it or feeling like it's an obligation to write in it. This should be a way to encourage you to feel more grateful and to encourage you to feel more positive. The next tip is to turn negative things upside down. When I got into a car wreck last February, not this past February, but February before that, I wrote in my gratitude journal, I'm glad that I was not injured worse. I had a little bit of whiplash, but I was pretty much okay. My car was totaled, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I was just grateful to be alive and grateful, like no broken bones. It was very scary and it was a very negative and bad thing to be in a car wreck. But I was so grateful that it wasn't too bad. There've been a lot of times when I've been very ill. And I've been grateful that my friends and family are there to take care of me. So anything that's negative going on in your life and it feels like you are just drowning in this negative experience, there's always something that you can be grateful for. Be grateful for the people who are surrounding you and supporting you through that negative thing. Be grateful that it's not worse. There's always something that you can focus on that can be a positive thing. That being said, sometimes you're grieving and you have this very bad negative thing that has happened to you and you're just like, I do not feel grateful right now. I'm going through the stages of grief and I feel anger and denial and bargaining and the whole deal. Like, that's okay too. You need to go through that process. Some days you will not feel grateful. You will feel angry. write it in your gratitude journal. For that day, your gratitude journal becomes the angry journal. You know, the point of a journal is to, get your emotions out there and to focus on different areas of your life that you might not normally think about. You know, sometimes you just have to be there with your sadness or your negative experience and just say, it's negative. Right now, it is not good. And maybe 2-3 days down the road, maybe 2-3 years down the road, you'll be able to heal from that, and then you'll be able to go back and say, I'm grateful that I have healed from that bad experience, you know. I think people focus sometimes too much on you have to be positive about everything. And that's not really true. You don't have to be positive about everything. It's good if you can, but sometimes things are just so bad, you just need to acknowledge, I'm in a place right now where things are not good, and I'm working to get to a better place, and that's okay, you know. The trouble comes when people try to deny their feelings and deny that they're feeling sad or deny that, you know, things are really bad and try to pretend like it's all happy and I wrote it in my gratitude journal and I'm focusing on the positive. And then that's not healthy, you know. You need to acknowledge the badness too, you know. You need to acknowledge the bad feelings and then work through them and heal, and gradually you can make your way back to positive feelings again. Does that make any kind of sense? I guess I've been guilty of that before. I have ignored my negative feelings and forced myself to feel positive, when really what I needed to do was acknowledge the negative and work through it and say, it's okay that I feel negative today. That is all right. And then be a little more positive the next day. And those are my tips about writing in a gratitude journal and how I kind of do my gratitude journal. I don't write it in it all the time. Sometimes I write every day. Sometimes I write once a week. Sometimes I don't write in it for like 3 months. It doesn't really matter as long as I am feeling grateful. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.